Hello everybody. Today's a gorgeous day. It's one of those days that came up in the middle of winter because it's probably like a week into winter already. It's 73 degrees according to my bike. And it's supposed to get up to like 77 today. Like, it's just crazy. So you can't own a bike and then not take a ride on a day like today. And we just happen to have today off, so here we are. It's a nice rare ride with my husband. And we actually have a mission today because he got himself a new helmet for his, we're going to call it birthday, Christmas, Easter, everything else this year. And we're going to go pick it up. It came in today. So the timing was just perfect on everything. First stop is gas. And then we'll be heading into Dallas. So I'll edit out this boring gas part and see you back. So here we are, we're out of gas. I didn't say we're out of gas. I sort of started to say that. We have gas. Okay. That wasn't done very well on my part. But sometimes I think that I have some kind of a guardian because some of the messes I get into, I seem to come out okay. I'm just going to call it a guardian because I don't know what else to say. Sometimes you do stupid things. That wasn't horribly bad, but I should have floored it a little bit on my gas. And I was being stupid. So, one of the perks that Jim has working at his motorcycle company is that he gets really good discounts for gear. And once a year, he gets to buy a really expensive helmet for half price. So of course we love the Arise, and this was his year to get the new helmet. So you're going to see lots of bikes out today, I bet. Maybe even people taking time off from work. Well, the Arai is one of the top-end helmet, and when it's a protection for your brain, you can't spend enough money on it, and you get what you pay for helmets. And they do have an expiration date on them, so even if you have a perfectly good helmet, it's best to follow the expiration date from the manufacturer. I believe they rise are about 5 to 6 years. And the other thing about helmets is once you have a wreck in the helmet, or just an accident, or some place where you've fallen off your bike, it's no good anymore. You want to get another one. And we don't take any chances with our heads. So we try to save our coins, and not to mention that to us, the helmet is probably the coolest thing about having a bike, is that we get to wear the helmets, because we grew up being astronauts in our refrigerator boxes when we were little. And this is like the coolest thing ever for us. And you want to pick out a helmet like you pick out a tattoo. And pick out one that you're going to really like for the next 5 years. Now, I'm not trying to race my husband or anything, but he hasn't been on his bike for a while, so he's kind of taken off a little fast with these lights, and I'll just try to keep up. I don't want to necessarily race him. Not that I wouldn't race him in normal circumstances, but we're just out for a nice ride, really, not for a race. But you can't help but want to go fast sometimes on these bikes. I mean, there are a couple of sport bikes. He has the Triumph Street Triple. And I used to have the Triumph Speed Triple. But the highest speed on those little bikes, the little street bikes, are about 150 miles an hour. And that's pushing it. I mean, that's not even the average speed. That's like the top end speed you can probably get on those little bikes. So in order to go to the Salt Flats, which is my big goal, I want a bike that goes 200 miles or more. So there was only a couple of choices at the time. I'm sure there's a lot more bikes out there now that can probably run that speed. But we were looking at either the Kawasaki or the Hayabusa, and we just ended up in a good situation where I could get my Kawasaki. So this is the bike that I have, and this is the one I'm taking to the Salt Flats when we get up there. And we're hoping, you know, going to the Salt Flats isn't that easy for us. We have to find some type of a trailer to haul the bikes, because it's quite a distance from us and we don't want to ride all the way up there. So we need a car to be able to pull the trailer, to be able to pull the bikes. And then the fee itself to get in isn't that bad. So I think once we have everything in place, we can just take off. And plus we need vacation from our jobs. Now I have the vacation time, but Jim had started this job and he hasn't really racked up a bunch of vacation until just this year. He's finally got a couple of weeks of vacation now. And so it's either going to be this year or next year, hopefully, that we'll be able to go. And I'll definitely get some pictures of that when we go. Because that'll be an awesome thing. It's just one of our life goals. Because I know a lot of people like to take corners on bikes, and we even took a nice cornering class. And we learned the right way to take corners on your bike. But it's not practical on the regular road. And I honestly don't like the cornering as much as other people do. I like to go fast and straight. So that's why we're going to the Salt Flats, so I can just open this up and go as fast as I possibly can. And I'm hoping to break the 200 mile an hour mark. The first landmark on a bike is hitting that 100 mile an hour mark. I remember when I was a little girl and my mom was riding bikes, and we got out on a stretch of highway. Don't ask me which the highway it was. It was up in Massachusetts somewhere. And I remember sitting on the back of her bike. I was just a little girl, and she was going to do it that day. And we sat there, and I'm like, come on, Mom, you can do it, you can do it. And she took off, and I don't even think she made it that day. I think she got it up to about 70 miles an hour or so. I mean, I was just a little girl, I don't remember, but I know she didn't make it that day. So I feel like I have some of the same things about her, you know, like, because I want to go fast too, but it didn't take me long to break 100. 100's kind of scary, but some of these newer bikes, I mean, the bike she had at the time probably couldn't even go 100. No, I'm just joking around, it probably did, but I mean, that's when the bike would have been shaking and everything, trying to go that fast. And these bikes, you just twist the throttle a tiny bit, and next thing you know, you're going 100. Like, you can't see my speedometer right now, but I'm going about 90 right now, and that's hardly doing anything at all. I'm just sitting here. And I'm not going 90 because I chose to go 90. I'm just following my husband, mind you. But he hasn't been on his bike for over 6 months, and I think he's just having a blast right now. But it's very windy today. I remember the first time when we started to ride our bikes, when the wind picked up a little bit, you just start to move all over the place. But I called it white knuckle riding because we were kind of scared when it got really windy. But now it's nothing to us, because eventually the wind doesn't even affect you. You just mentally move your body where it needs to be against the wind. It's like a gyroscope or something, but it's like when you run your bicycles when you're a kid. You didn't even think about it. Your body just went in whatever direction it needed to compensate for the turn you're making. And it's the same way on a motorcycle. We just don't even hardly notice it anymore. I only know it's windy because I can hear it inside my helmet, and I feel like I have to shout to be heard. But we just don't notice it as much. I remember going into a store one time, and we were both like, whoa, it's so windy out there, and the guy was just looking at us like, well, so what, you know? We just didn't. That was back in our scary, windy days. But I just saw a tumbleweed fly across my road here, so that's how windy it is. It went by so fast you can't even hardly see it. So we're on our way to Plano, Texas, and it's a little bit of a commute. It's about an hour or so. But I'll break this video up a little bit, make it like a 4-part series or something. Depending on when the battery runs out on my camera. It's supposed to have about 2 hours worth of film, but we'll see.